You know what time it is? The Real Talk Sports Show is coming up right now. Welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, the Minister Jonathan Simmons. We thank God for all those of you who decided to tune in and join us here on our live broadcast. We want to give a big shout out to those first time viewers and listeners and watchers on LinkedIn. Thanks so much for tuning in and checking us out here as we broadcast to you from places unknown. Amen. Yeah, listen, before we get started, I want to give you guys the heads up on how you can follow us and follow the show. Please follow us, Real Talk Sports, the number 7. Follow me personally at Minister J Sim. Love to have you interact with us. And here's the good news. We are always looking for the good news in sports. If you got a great story, you got a coach that's done some great stuff, you have an athlete who maybe does some great things both on and off the field, please, ma'am, please, sir, contact us, Jay Simmons at realtalksports.net, or simply text or call us 678-410-9833. And for those of you who are on YouTube, if you were just scrolling along and said, what is this? Hey, stop right here and subscribe. You know how to do it. Hit that bell, bing. Go ahead, subscribe, hit the bell, and it will let you know when we are having live broadcasts. We are on twice a week, and then I do a bunch of YouTube shorts, a lot of times right from the games. We cover the Hawks. From time to time, we cover the Falcons. This year, they were a little snarky. They did not give us full credentials. That's all right. We covered the Hawks. The Hawks, actually, we have credentials for them all year long. So stay tuned for us giving you some updates from on the court. Now, tonight is going to be heavy football as we talk, of course, the big game last night, college football championships, and for the first time in 27 years, the Wolverines of Michigan are once again the kings of college football, knocking off Washington 34-13. We're going to talk about that. We're going to wait and talk about that because we have a young lady that's on our show. She is a Michigander. She is a beauty queen, and she is a huge fan of anything coming out of Michigan. So she's going to want to celebrate her boys in Amazing Blue. So we'll kind of throttle back a little bit and wait for the queen, Miss Tree Dolman, to come on and join us. Also joining us a little bit later on in the broadcast will be a not one but two-time Super Bowl champion. He's also a member of the Fort Valley State Sports Hall of Fame, and he's also in the Black College Alumni Hall of Fame. The one and only Tyrone Poole, a recent nominee and inductee, as a matter of fact, not inductee, but he recently was selected, I believe, to the Black College Football Hall of Fame. So he'll be joining us as well. And of course, there's room for you to join us as well. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go ahead and hop in here. Some of you guys join us on social media, so I'm going to do this today. Tonight, if you're feeling some kind of way, like you, hey, I want to join this broadcast, here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to put the link on the screen. And if you feel you have something compelling to say about anything that's happened in the world of sports lately, good news. You actually will be able to join us on the air because I'm going to give you the link. It operates just like Zoom. You pop it in. I tell you, if you're coming in onto the show, please have your your phone, if you're using the phone in horizontal mode. Otherwise, you have that big black border, and we don't want that. Here it is on the screen right now. So again, if you want to be a part of the broadcast, there it is. There's the link. Copy and paste it into your phone. Join us that way. Or if you're like me, you're on the laptop, you can go ahead and set it up, copy and paste onto the laptop, and we will see you in the green room, and we'll bring you in onto the Real Talk Sports Show. All right. Like I mentioned, I do cover the Hawks. Hawks have been driving me crazy. Here's a team that has all the potential and makings of a team that should be a playoff contender. And right now they're languishing 6 or 7 games below 500. And this is a team now that, just as I mentioned this in all my broadcasts, just a few years ago, this team, the Atlanta Hawks, that's right, our Atlanta Hawks, made a phenomenal, magical run to the Eastern Conference Finals. And not been for an injury to Trae Young, it went 6 games. Who knows? They could have actually got to the finals. Since that time, it's been it's been el fiasco. Hawks have been terrible. They've went through multiple coaches, and they can't seem to get out of their own way. Um, Great offensive team. They're in the top 5 in the league in scoring. Horrifically bad defensive team. I think they're ranked number right now 28 out of 30 teams. So I don't know what we can do. I will say this much. One of the things I believe, and I know this is going to seem a little odd, but for me personally, I believe that the Hawks and the Falcons are really suffering a spiritual issue. Now you say, bro, what are you talking about? Something spiritual? See, I believe that both the Hawks and the Falcons have taken advantage of the Atlanta populace. And you say, well, how is that? Well, both teams, like most sports teams, got a hellacious amount of money in order to rebuild their stadiums. And in the case of the Falcons, actually built a brand new stadium. And a lot of that land they used was land that was used by black churches, used by the poor black community. Now, a lot of it was run down. But at the end of the day, a lot of this land they gobbled up and put this use. It displaced a lot of people, especially the Falcon Stadium. And although both owners, which are nice guys, I've met them, had some great conversations with Tony Ressler, the owner of the Hawks, and from time to time, I actually interviewed Arthur Blank, interacted with him. So they seem to be nice men, and they seem to have a commitment to want to give back to the community. However, like many corporations, I think what has happened is they're getting more out of the bargain than the citizenry. Now, the Hawks do a little bit better job, I think, of dealing with the citizens because they're very, very aggressive in terms of interacting with the black community. They have a HBCU night twice a year, I think it is. They have a celebration of the black fraternities. They put on multiple concerts during the year of music that appeals to the sensibilities of black folk. They have some hip hop concerts. They have R&B concerts, mini concerts that are free. Basically, if you pay to go to the game, they're there. And the Hawks are known to have the best in-game experience of any team in the NBA. So I don't want to, throw shots at the Hawks and make it seem like they're not doing anything at all. However, I am hearing that they're looking to do a huge renovation in the Gulch area, and my understanding is that a lot of that's going to be led by the owner's family members. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, I understand that you want to work with people that are close to you, but in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, well, how much is this really going to benefit the citizens that live in and around that area? I'm just wondering. And so my thing is, I think that both of these teams, if they were doing more to give back to the community, because again, they got a lot of money, and I get you, a lot of sports teams do that, but this is Atlanta. They got a lot of money. As a matter of fact, uh, part of the deal for the Hawks is that they actually kind of ran over the budget. And the mayor of Atlanta had to work kind of a side deal with the late mayor of College Park, so that money that was kind of like really like Martin money was kind of used to help the Hawks to the tune of well over $100 million. Now, of course, what College Park got out of it was the arena where now the WNBA team plays and they have concerts and things like that. But I'm just saying, I think if they were to give more back to community, and last but not least, if they would get Tony, I love you, Arthur, I love you, but let the professionals handle managing the team. You bring these guys in, these top GM, the top advisors. Let these guys, run the team. I'm just saying. So I think it's kind of more of a spiritual and management thing versus necessarily players. And of course, now the Hawks have to bring in All-Star guard DeJounte Murray last year. There's rumors that they're trying to trade him, which makes no sense to me. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. All right, well, let's do this. I see in the green room a gentleman I talked to you about earlier will be joining the program. I'm going to flash on the screen so you guys will know who I'm about to bring on. He is a two-time, not one, but two-time Super Bowl champion. He is a member of the National Black College Alumni Hall of Fame. He is the first ever defensive draft selection by the Carolina Panthers. And he is a motivational speaker par excellence. I do believe that I know for a fact he has been nominated to Black College Football Hall of Fame, but I do believe that this year he finally has been official. But I'm gonna let him talk to you. He is number 38 on the field, but number one in our hearts. Tyrone Poole is back in the building. Tyrone, welcome back, sir.
Hey, Jonathan, how you doing? I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody's had a great day, and blessings to everybody.
Hold up, Tyrone. I got everybody check out this close up here. I want you guys to take a look at this close up right here where Tyrone is broadcasting from us today. I'm thinking this is bam. Look
Yeah,
at here, look at here. Yes, sir. I like that, Tyrone.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. So technology, there's a lot of great things you can do, man. Uh,
Amen.
so how we doing, Jonathan?
I'm doing good. We're gonna give a big shout out to a first time viewer slash listener. This young lady, lovely young lady, who I happened to meet and interview at the Mayor's Mass Ball. She runs the Crown Management Group, the lovely Miss Catherine Williams. Thank you. We see you. Appreciate you.
All
Doing
right.
good, Tyrone. We want to give a shout out to the lovely Miss Catherine for joining us today. Yeah, man. Doing good. As I mentioned last week, after 4.5 years of ducking and moving, learning some moves from Tyrone, how to shift, duck, move back. COVID said, "Oh no, no, bro, we're gonna get you right now." Bam! But thank the Lord, it was not anything really severe. I probably had about 3 days of, quote unquote, flu-like symptoms, some real nasty body aches. But after that, praise the Lord, preacher back on his feet. Amen.
There you go. There you go, man. Can't keep a good man down, as they say.
No, man, we're trying to, say make it happen, man, make it happen. So how are you, kind sir? I
Good.
look and
Get here and talk some sports, man, and keep this thing
I hear
going.
you. Let's
That's
go.
rolling.
Let's let's go. Well, Tyrone, I'm trying to hold on a little bit about talking about the Michiganders because the Queen has told me she's running a little bit behind schedule, and I want her to bask in all her glory. I'm sure she's done chained in all her maize and blue and Michigan gear, and of course she's very excited about the Detroit Lions
Yeah.
being in that top four. So yeah, man, I think she's gonna show out once she get on the air, bro. I think she's gonna show out. But listen, while we're waiting for her, let's talk a little football. A lot of openings here in the NFL. I think we have 6 head coach openings that are available. Kind of, you looking at Raiders, Panthers, Commanders, Falcons. Um, of these teams, the Chargers. What teams do you think, if you were saying, "Hey, I want to be a coach in the NFL," what would be the teams that you would be most likely to be interested in, and why?
Well, it'll be a team where the atmosphere is about teamwork. The atmosphere is about teamwork. So any of those teams where the owner is about teamwork, where they have goals, they have an idea. Of course, the coach is going to bring the identity in, but it starts at the top. They got to have a goal. So if I'm sitting down with a particular owner, I'm like, what is your goal for the team? What is your goal for the team? Just like they interview the coach got to interview the owners. What are your goals 3 years from now or next year, next month? What is your goal? Uh, Again, the atmosphere. What is the atmosphere like? Not only in the locker room, but just the organization in itself. What is it? What is it like? What is it like? Because all that stuff plays a part in a winning atmosphere. And who are they surrounding themselves with? Again, staff. Do they staff that are committed to winning? Everybody has to be committed. And you make me think when I make myself think when I just said everyone has to have that winning atmosphere. Who do you surround yourself with? Well, I heard a wise man that I listened to. He said he had an opportunity to tour the Nike facility. And he said that when he went in, and I'm talking about culture now, culture, everybody, staff, everybody that's part of that organization, it's a culture. That's why Nike is who they are. Well, he said when he went in there and he talked to a few people, and he said everybody that he talked to, they started off by saying, we at Nike believe. Doesn't matter who he went to, we at Nike believe. And so if I am a particular coach looking for a vacancy, then it has to be that type of atmosphere, right? It's all about we, because I can only do my job as good as the environment in which I am in. You can take a good apple and put a good apple in a barrel of bad apples, and that good apple will go bad. So it ain't about, it's just so many other factors that are mixed into it. So it's all about chemistry, man. It's all about chemistry. So I'm a firm believer, Jonathan, that if you put yourself in the right environment, you put yourself in the right environment, and this is for anybody that is looking and watching. It ain't all about sports, right? Like sports is a great metaphor for life, but I believe that what I'm about to say is a principle for life. If you want to win in life, first you got to know who you are, what you have, and what you can do, right? And then where a lot of people mess up, Jonathan, like a lot of these players, right? They go and they're trying to find money. There's nothing wrong with that. Go where the money is. But this is what I've learned. If you go where there is value, where they value you, or you know your value, you go there, and I promise you, if you live up to your value, they will pay you to be yourself, man. Right? And they're gonna want to keep you there because they see value in you. But if you go somewhere just for the money, and nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Like Dion say, must be the money. Or Jerry Maguire, show me the money.
Show me the money, baby.
Yeah. But I'm just saying,
Me
if
the
you make
money.
yourself valuable, if you make yourself valuable, man, the money will come because you make yourself so valuable, they cannot get rid of you. Because if they get rid of you, and I heard you talking about the community and all that stuff, that's how you make yourself valuable to these teams. That's why Darryl Green stayed around for 20-something years, man. He made himself valuable to the organization and to the community. And they're like, man, we can't get rid of Darryl. So again, that money, if you don't do what's right, it's going to be short-lived, right? But if you make yourself valuable, man, they're going to find a place for you, man. So, but yeah, that's long story short. Yeah, that's what I would be looking for if I'm a coach.
Tyrone say looking for some value. Speaking of value, guys, I'm gonna let you guys listen to some folks that have been very kind to help us keep this program alive. Check out the value from our
Are
sponsors.
you in the market for a new vehicle? Well, check out Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in Morrow, Georgia. We have one of the largest inventories in our area for both new and pre-owned vehicles, so we're sure to have something for everyone. Family owned and operated since 1982, customer satisfaction is our number one priority. Come see our full lineup of vehicles and find the one that best fits you. Give us a call today, 678-726-5739, or shop us 24/7 online at allenvigilford.net. Brian, I just want to say congratulations, man. Thanks for coming down from Tennessee to get your new truck from us.
Thank you.
Just want to say congratulations on getting your new F-350 from us here at Allen Vigil Ford. Thank you for your business.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Amici, on your new F-250 that you got from us. How was the experience here at Allen Vigil Ford?
Thank you so much, Jonathan, man. I appreciate everything you did for me, man. This is awesome right here. And you did, your service is impeccable, man.
All right, guys, you heard it right there, right from the horse's mouth. If you need a vehicle for yourself or your family, check me out. You can reach me. You can just find me on the same information. As soon as I get my producer to act right, we'll pop it up on the screen for you guys. Hit me up, 678-410-9833. You can send me an email if you like, jsimmons@realtalksports.net. Yeah, I am on premises right there at Allen Vigil Ford. I will be your guy. So how cool is that? Well, you can actually have the minister help you out with your brand new car for yourself or your family. Or we have a tremendous selection of used cars, every make and model you can think of: Toyota, Mercedes, BMW, Nissan, Fords, Lincolns. We have it all. So again, give me a call, 678-410-9833. Love to help you or your family in your next automobile. And that's one of the reasons why I'm still at Allen Vigil. I mean, family owned. Mr. Vigil's been in business for over 40 years, and at least right now, they still think I have some value, Tyrone, so I'm still around. Amen.
There you go. You got value, man. You still around.
All right, let's go to social media here. It has been buzzing and popping. Todd is saying that he'd like to get an established coach. We put it up here right there, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later on in the broadcast. What you guys think about the Falcons situation? But hey, Tree, we tried to wait for you, but we got to talk a little bit about the game last night. Tyrone Poole made the call. He said, Minister, I'm telling you, it's all about the defense and the running game, and that is what's going to allow the Wolverines to win. And as it turns out, Tyrone Poole called it, because the Michigan defense kept the heat on Michael Penix Jr. all night long. And with their injury to their star running back, it basically made their running game ineffective. Which, the other thing we talked about, is if you're a one-dimensional team against a good defense, you are in trouble. And Michael Penix's receivers did him no good service. A couple of well-placed balls were dropped. But I think some of that, Tyrone, was what happens sometimes when guys go across that middle, hit them footsteps. I saw a little bit of that in that Michigan game, sir.
Yeah, I saw a lot of bad throws by the quarterback as well, man.
Yep.
Michael, he just guys wide open, man. You know, I'm kind of like, I spoke to a guy during the game. I called him and I said, man, this guy throwing the ball kind of remind me of Tim Tebow, man. Not because he's left-handed, but I guess you kind of say left-handed. But I'm like, he was overthrowing receivers, man, wide open, man. I'm like, you got to hit them guys, man. That's, you know. But again, the guy told me, he says, well, the report on Michael was that if you put pressure on him, then his accuracy goes down. You know, if he's standing in the pocket throwing the ball, then, you know, his percentages are pretty much higher. So you saw a lot of time he's throwing off his back foot, man, and you can't do that. You can't do that. And if he's trying to go to that next level in NFL, he's got to clean up his technique. He's got to clean up his technique big time, man. But again, you know, Michigan came out, man, and they running the ball. That's what they do. And again, knowing that Washington throws the ball, that's just what the recipe for your opponent is going to be. So Washington knew that this is what Michigan was going to do. They were going to try to run the ball, control the clock, and make Washington throw the ball and be quick on the offense, but keep that offense off the field. So look at the total yards: Michigan 443, Washington 307. So like I told you guys, you know, Michael was not going to have that big game like he had against Texas, man. He wasn't going to have it against Michigan. And so again, Michigan showed up, showed out, and that's why they are champions, man. 303 yards on the ground, Washington 46. Man, that's a big difference.
Yeah, man. I guess I was really shocked at how badly Washington came out and misplayed the run. I mean, uh, no type of edge protection, missing plays in the gaps, missing tackles. I mean, Michigan had 179 yards on the ground in the first quarter. And now here's the thing that's kind of interesting. You talked about Michigan controlling the ball. The weird thing is Michigan was the big play team, and Washington was the ones that had the longer drives. But the key was they could not convert. When they came down and had that 14-play drive, when it was 7-0, and they had to kick a field goal, right then and there, to me, I said the game over.
Yeah.
Because you basically are facing a Michigan team that right off the bat got you on your heels with big plays. So now you need to find some way to slow the game down to get your guy Michael Penix in the groove. And like I said, that first drive, it looked like, hey, we're going to answer, but we're going to answer by the way you would think Michigan would. We're going to control it, short passing, march it down the field. But when they couldn't score that touchdown, I said, man, this is a bad sign. And then immediately gave up another big 40-something yard touchdown run. And for me, I don't want to say shocked is not the right word, but I was really kind of surprised that Washington was able to stay in the game as long as they did, because I thought they were going to get blown out.
Yeah,
I really did. Once Michigan ran up like that, I said, man, this could get ugly in a hurry. But to the Washington defense credit, they righted the ship and kept the offense in the game. But a lot of missed opportunities by that Washington offense.
let me tell you, this is the old secret right here. When you get into a championship game, if you find yourself kicking more field goals and scoring touchdowns in a championship game, you're
You're
going
in
to lose.
trouble.
In championship games or any type of big games, when you get that ball inside the red zone, you got to score touchdowns. When you find yourself scoring touchdowns in a championship game in the red zone, you more than likely going to win that game. But here's the thing also, neither team did real good on third down, right? You got Michigan with 1 for 10, and you got Washington 2 for 14. But here's the other thing, right? Washington had the ball longer than Michigan. But the big plays that hurt Washington, and they couldn't answer, right? And again, you had errant throws, and towards the end of the game, the number 73, the right tackle.
Oh, he killed him. He
He kind of hurt him bad in a couple of
But-
plays, man, that were called back. So when they had an opportunity to get the momentum, they still couldn't sustain, because there was a point where I do believe Michigan was like, okay, man, these guys, it's 13-20, man. So, these guys are trying
hanging around.
Then they had that penalty. I think that kind of was a momentum turn right there for Washington. And again, like I said, Penix, man, they start pounding him, man, and he holding his ribs. And I know a lot of people saying the running back played injured. But here's my thing. My thing is, I don't care if it's Pee-wee, high school, college, or the pros. 2 questions. Well, 1 question, 2 answers. Are you injured? Are you hurt? So if you say you are injured, you can't play. We don't want to hear nothing about it. Get out there. Ain't no blame game, or I couldn't go full speed. If you step out on that field, you play 100%. There are no excuses. So the running back felt like he could go out there and he could play at a high level. So I don't look at the fact that, okay, he was injured. If you get out the field then. I'd rather put a fresh body, but I get it. Hey, he's been running majority of the plays. He know the plays. But at the end of the day, which gives you a best opportunity? Somebody with a fresh body that can hit the hole full speed, or your best talent, but maybe your best talent is only going 60%. Maybe you as a coach, maybe you put him in, take him out. Put him in, take him out. I don't know. But either way, you step out there on that field, man, you got to play. But yeah, Washington kept the ball just as much as Michigan, but Michigan capitalized on the big plays, man. And again, it was, Michigan.
And the crazy thing, I thought it was going to be the other way around. I thought it would be Washington hitting on the big plays, and like we talked about, especially you mentioned that Michigan grinding out, man. But their running attack was just gashing Washington. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me get ready. I see her in the green room. I think she got enough maize and blue to cover all of Michigan. You know what I'm talking about. One of the most beautiful women on sports talk radio or TV. We simply call her the Queen. Tree Dolman is happily in the building. The Queen, what's up?
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Tree.
Hi, Tara. Okay.
The Queen is excited. She is excited. Her boys have done it. She called it. Tyrone had her back, said Michigan going to do it. They said, preach you out your mind. Hussey can't do it. And at the end, y'all were right.
Go Blue.
All right, let's go back to social media. Todd said that the Washington quarterback choked. He couldn't handle it. And our good friend from down the D.C. area, what's she saying there, Tree? I don't have my reading glasses on. It's a long one there. What's she saying?
Let's see. Oh, my screen must be frozen because I can't see it. Oh, now I see it.
There you go.
Donna Jones says, good evening, everyone. I'm here tonight to hear Miss Tree brag about her Michigan Wolverines. Congratulations. Yeah, Donna, listen, that's what I'm doing all night.
She's been waiting for this, boys. She's been waiting for her boys to win the national title. And yeah, listen, kudos to Michigan. I got a guy on my job. He's actually runs our IT, grinning from ear to ear. He was so nervous when I saw him earlier on Monday. He said, Jonathan, I don't know. I said, dude, you have to get your wife, man, to give you like some calm down pills, bro. Just hang on. I mean, it's gonna be a good game. I said, I picked the Huskies. I said, but at the end of the day, I said, hey, you guys are ready, and they wanted all that smoke. And
I
I got to
kept
tell you
telling
something.
y'all we want all the smoke.
And you did. And here's the thing. I mean, if you look at the eye test, all you guys, I get it. The SEC has ruled the rules for a long time, but the realities is that nobody in SEC would have beaten Michigan last night, including Georgia. They would not have won that game. Michigan played with an intensity that just Washington could not match. And I don't think Georgia would have matched. Well, we
They
saw it. I
wouldn't
mean,
have.
Alabama
You
beat
know, we
Georgia.
have the #1 defense in the country. And as I always say, defense wins championships. So I don't think it would have mattered who was on the other side. Score may have not been the same, but I think if we would have played Georgia, I think we would have beat them. I really don't think it would have mattered who we played just because of the mindset mainly of the players. The players were playing for a mission. They came back. They did not like what happened last year against TCU. And they were all on a mission this season to win a national championship. And they were focused and they did that. So I'm so proud of our Wolverines.
Yeah. And let me say this too, you mentioned Georgia. We don't know what type of game it would have been. And I'm going to say it like this. The reason why I say that, Michigan, when I looked at Michigan defense, if you go back and look at that game and maybe look at the rest of Michigan's season, I'm talking about from a defensive standpoint, right? It could be the same thing from offensive standpoint, but I'm going to talk about a defense. Because they knew that Washington really was more of a passing team than a running team, they had their linebackers deeper than they normally would. So if you're playing against a team that that run the ball, you're going to have your linebackers closer to the line of scrimmage, which allows play action and receivers to get behind your defense or your linebackers. So in that aspect of looking at the game, it might not have been maybe a 34-13, but if Michigan is playing a team that they know runs the ball, well, they knew Washington throws the ball a lot. Play the percentages, right? So don't get cute. So that's what they did. They backed their linebackers up. They probably gave their linebackers another yard and a half from their normal depth and said, hey, we don't have to worry about the run. If they do run the ball, we're going to come up and we'll just meet it, right? But we know that they're going to throw the ball. So let's play deeper. So it gives us an opportunity to see what's going on quicker and faster and be able to get in those passing lanes that Washington loves throwing.
Yeah, at the end of the day, like you mentioned, guys that are playing, they're not injured but hurt. You don't know whether, hey, is this guy 75% better than his backup at 100%? Bottom line is, once they knew early on, like you said, that they really couldn't run the ball effectively, yeah, they just did it. And then, but here's the thing. You said this, and it's true. The receivers had some key drops, and Penix missed some guys that were open. So, I
Yeah,
mean, the option is
great
there, but
defense to do that to you.
no, listen, I mean, there's no way, I'm going to tell you right now, there's no way I'm taking anything away from Michigan's performance last night. They passed the eye test. They're the best team in the country, no doubt about it. That's why I said what I said before. I don't care who played them. I don't care if Georgia played them. I don't care if Alabama played them again. Nobody was beating the Wolverines last night. They wanted all the smoke, and your guy that, matter of fact, the top draft pick for the Lions, they asked Hutchinson, and he said the same thing you say. He said, dude, it's his destiny. He said, that team, nobody's beating them. And sometimes you get that. You just get that season where nobody is winning.
Good. Todd. Okay, because I was just about to say, where is Todd? Where is Shelly Sullivan? I mean, where's everybody that was talking all this smack to me? Remember? Oh, Michigan, you can't handle the SEC. Oh, I mean, where are you guys at? What do you mean, who won, Ty? You know who won. It wasn't your Georgia Bulldogs.
Boys, the queen is about to get y'all all night. I'm just saying.
I've been ready.
And then, hey, once we start talking some NFL, she going to come back again because them Lions.
Look,
right in
we
the
ready
middle
for
of it.
that one too.
Right in the middle of it. All right, guys, listen, I want everybody to keep it locked right here. We're going to continue to talk football. That is what is ruling the roost. Congratulations again to the Michigan Wolverines. They are the national champions, 34-13 winner over the Washington Huskies. And you guys will be a winner if you keep it locked right here for more of the Real Talk Sports Show. Don't go nowhere.
Did you know that Allen Vigil Ford in Morrow, Georgia also has Lincoln? Over 35 years of using the Vigil Touch to provide excellent customer service, works hand in hand with the Lincoln Motor Company to provide a luxurious and seamless way to acquire your next luxury vehicle. Lincoln has an array of full-service complimentary owner benefits. These benefits include hospitality partnerships, service pickup and delivery, all which can be accessed through the Lincoln Way app. You can even contact the 24/7 concierge to have someone assist you. Come and see our great inventory of new and pre-owned Lincolns today. Call 678-364-7345 to make an appointment with one of our brand champions or shop 24/7 online at allenvigillincoln.net.
This is OJ Howard with Real Talk Sports.
What's up, guys? This is Tim Tebow. You're listening to Real Talk Sports.
This is Charles Woodson. Let me grab the mic. You ready? This is Charles Woodson with Real Talk Sports. Hey, it's your boy JB Smooth with Real Talk Sports.
And we are back here. Charles Woodson, a Michigander, was on the last Michigan team to win the national title back in 1997. He was celebrating so much on Instagram. His wife came on and put in the comments, "Honey, go to bed," because he was wide open last night on Instagram, well after the midnight hour, celebrating his Michigan Wolverines. Again, congratulations to all you guys that backed the Maize and Blue, not just the bandwagon jumpers. I'm talking about you guys that have been with the Maize and Blue since the Harbaugh has brought them back into national prominence. Let's go back to social media. Todd's still talking junk. Wait a minute.
Well, come on. Todd said, let's be real. If Brock Bowers played Michigan blown out, listen, Todd, really? Really, Todd? Really? If woulda, shoulda, coulda, right? If this, if that, if this, if that. No. Wouldn't have mattered who was on the field. The Michigan Wolverines were winning. 15-0, undefeated, national champions. Oh, be prepared to be sick of me for the whole rest of the year, because you know what? How you guys were talking about, well, Georgia, we're the defending champions. And you were. But now we are.
And let me tell you how bad this game was to a point. You go back and look at just a number of plays. Not only did Washington have more time than Michigan did, but they ran more plays than Michigan did, right? So you add up the plays that Washington, Pennick threw the ball 51 times. So that's 51 plays. They had to throw 51 passes, right? Which he had a bad percentage, 27 of 21. He wasn't even 50%, man. And then they had 11 runs by Dylan Johnson, another run by Millen. So you add up all those, 51, 11, 1, 2, 1, 1, 3. That's 70 plays. 70 plays that Washington ran, and they only came up with 13 points. Then you got Michigan. They ran a total of, I have down here, 57
Yes,
plays, and they scored 34 points. So you get into big games, when you get your hands on the ball, you turn them into points, man. So that's the secret to winning championships.
Yeah, and like I said, that's right. Up close
You
and
know,
personal.
they might come down to some field goals, but it's a win, right? But no, that's just like, like that's 70 plays to 57 plays, right? That shows how efficient Michigan was, how big play Michigan was. And again, Washington wasn't ready, man. They wasn't ready for prime time.
Yeah, and like you said, it really was just the exact opposite of the way I thought the team would go. I thought that Washington would be able to get some explosive plays. That there were opportunities, they blew them. And Michigan really stunned me. I knew they would run the ball, but not with those big gashing runs. I mean, you had 2 runs over 45 yards. You had, I think, 2 or 3 more runs over 20 yards. I mean, I think even Michigan fans did not expect for them to be that dominant
Oh, yes,
and
we
that
did.
explosive. I mean,
Oh, yes, we
let me
did.
not say dominant, that explosive. I mean, this is a team that you look at Corum, he's not a guy that really is, he's a guy that'll get you those gas plays, but I was thinking that if anything, it would be the opposite. Like Tyrone said, Michigan would get 4 here, 5 here, maybe an occasional pop for 12, but they will control the pace of the ball, but not a guy ripping off a 2 carries for 87 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Now I know Michigan fans are hyped, but nobody expected that out of your number 2 back.
No, you can't say that because we did. And I do want to say, you're talking about Donovan Edwards, right? So,
Right.
you know, huh?
Okay, so you're telling me, I mean, let's be serious now. You're telling me as a Michigan fan, you expected not Blake Corum, but Donovan Edwards to have
Yes.
2-3 carries for 100 yards? Come on
Yes,
now.
I thought it would be him and Corum. So don't tell me what I expected. And then when I'm telling you what I expected, you're trying to tell me I didn't expect it. I don't have a reason to lie to you. Now, do you want to hear why I expected it? So I'm
Yes,
to
please.
story.
Please.
I went to high school with Donovan Edwards' uncles. So I know the Edwards family very well. And Donovan Edwards is a very talented player. And if you can recall from last year, he had a lot of explosive runs. So just because he's number 2 on the list behind Corum doesn't mean that I wouldn't expect that. I really did think that we were going to have some explosive, powerful runs because running the game, running the ball is what we do and we do well. So yes, I did expect it. You didn't expect it, but I did.
And see what makes Donovan Edwards, his speed. Let's not discount the quickness and speed. That's the key. The key is to hit the hole. Hit the hole. That's why if you go back and look at Mike Shanahan, and Kyle Shanahan had it here in Atlanta too. They had that zone blocking, right? The running backs to make one cut, hit that hole, top speed, man, and boom. Terrell Davis ran for 2,000 yards behind that type of thing. So again, when you got somebody like Edwards, you saw his speed. Once he got to the open field, man, you can't have speed without quickness, right? So he hit that hole, man, and you got them big offensive linemen. Kind of like Gale Sayers. Donovan Edwards says, all I need is 18 inches of daylight. 18 inches is all I need.
He got that Gale Sayers, which say, bro, give me 6 inches. He said, give me 18 inches. Huh?
He said 18 inches.
Wow.
He said 6 inches or 18 inches.
Gale Sayers said, give me 6 inches.
6 inches?
6 inches.
That's
6
even
inches of daylight, baby.
better than.
Yeah.
That's
so if you think about it, we already know defense was going to be all over Corum, right? He already broke the record. You got to hit them with some plays that they haven't seen before when it's the national championship.
Okay, and again, this is why I'm saying I was shocked. And this is why I'm saying Michigan fans evidently know more than me. I'm going to read you some stats here on your man coming into this game. Against Alabama, he had 4 rushing attempts for 11 yards, 2.8 yards a carry.
Right.
For the season, he carried the ball 113 times, and he averaged 4.2 yards a carry. Not 7.2, not 8.2, 4.2 yards a carry. Now it's maybe me, but that doesn't give me any inclination that some guy's going to get in there, and on his first 3 carries, he's going to rush for almost 100 yards. And again, I get it. Y'all know him better than me, but I just for him maybe.
And Jonathan, what you're discounting, and I even get to you, Tree, you're discounting the what they call the adrenaline. That's what you're discounting. You're discounting adrenaline. When you get into big games like that, you get a new sense of energy, man. That's what you're discounting. So the stat versus that adrenaline, I'm telling you, I've been there, man. You get in them big games like that, you like, man, the world is watching. You turn to something else. And that's what he did. Go ahead, Tree. I'm sorry.
That is what he did. I want to say something real quick before I read Todd's comment, because Todd, you own one, Todd, per usual. But anyway, I was saying that typically through, national championship games, that teams have been scouting you. They look at the plays that you run. They look at who is scoring the running points. And so, like you were saying, this season, it hasn't been Donovan Edwards. It has been Corum. So that's why he was the perfect piece to put into those because they were expecting quorum. But on to Todd's comment, I had a friend who had a neighbor who was related to a dude that saw Washington's water boy. He told me they in trouble in first series. Whatever, Todd. I'm not stunting you. Whatever.
Todd ain't got no sense at all.
You don't have any sense.
0 sense at all. But
He's
no, but
just a
again, I'm
hater.
gonna say it again. I mean, regardless of anything about who, what, when, where, didn't expect, I'm gonna say this one more time. My hat's off to the Michigan Wolverines. They passed every eye test you can think of. They clearly, without a shadow of a doubt, were the #1 college football team. And I will say, I don't care who played them on Monday. Whether you call it adrenaline, whether you say, hey, it was just in the cards, whether they said we're tired of coming up short, that Michigan team came out there and said, we're not losing regardless. And I think that no matter who they played, a healthy Georgia, I don't care, healthy Alabama, yeah, they just were dominant. And in the case of Penix, a guy who I thought he showed some flashes early in the game, but once Michigan began to pressure him, Tyrone said something about his throwing motion. He started throwing off his back foot. He got out of rhythm, and he started missing open receivers. And his receivers, because they were getting hit, they started seeing ghosts, and they short-armed a couple of balls. So, yeah, I mean, hats off to Michigan. They did what they had to do. Best team in the country. Now the big question is Harbaugh gone or does he stay? What say you, Tree? Is the coach gone or is he going to hang around and see if he can do a repeat? What you think?
What do I think?
Yes.
That I keep going back and forth with that one. So part of me thinks that he will leave and go to the NFL. Then part of me thinks, well, you just won a national championship. Why not stay and do it again? But then the part of me that thinks that he'll go to the NFL is like, well, I just won a national championship. You want to leave on a high note. He's tired. I'm tired for him of all these allegations that the Big Ten and everybody keeps talking about. And so who knows? But I really, at this one, I don't know if he's going to leave or if he's going to stay. I support him with whatever decision he makes. Right. I think he's a phenomenal coach. I think he'll do well if he stays at Michigan. I think he'll do well if he transitions and goes into the NFL.
Tyrone, what do you think? You think he gone or he might hang around and see if he can go back to back?
Well, of course, we know it's his decision, right? But when you look at the aspects of who he is, I think he enjoys turning those young boys into men. And I can tell that in his passion, even when he goes to speak, when the reporters go to talk to him, he'll turn the spotlight on somebody else, right? He's been in the NFL. He played in the NFL. He knows that thing is not for long, like it says, the NFL not for long. Michigan, I'm like, he could be like Bo Schembechler. Man, he could stay at Michigan for years and years. He'd be like Eddie Robinson with Grambling. Man, look at here, boy. They probably end up naming the stadium after Jim Harbaugh. But I think he got something going there. And again, I think it's a great culture. Michigan is a great institution. They're going to support. So he's never going to be without support. He got people that love him there. And I think at the end of the day, that's where you want to be. So I wouldn't be surprised if Michigan and their alumni came up with some kind of way to have money there that he may break the bank as far as a college coach. But to go into the NFL, man, just ask Arthur Smith. Boy, you can be hot one day. Bell bottoms are in. Next thing you know, they're going to the straight league. So now you try to find yourself all over again. So, but if I'm Jim Harbaugh, I'm like, it's nothing like that college atmosphere. It's nothing like changing, young men into men, and with his, background, his Christianity, I'm like, I just think that's a perfect fit for him at Michigan, man. And he went to school there. I'm like, that's coming in full circle.
And I really love seen his father, his mother, his brother at the games, and it's just beautiful. So I hope he stays. All right. So Todd said, I will say this for one night. Tree is on top of the world. I take my hat off to Michigan. Tree, they did some cheating. You do know that. No, I don't. But heck, who cares? They won. I promise I don't know that. A lot of people keep saying it, and everybody talks about the coach that was on the sideline. This is what I have to say. One, no one has proven that was the coach on the sideline. Everyone just keeps saying, oh, well, he looks like him. He had on a hat and sunglasses. It's not easy just to have on a team's jacket and hat and stand on the sideline and nobody's going to say anything to you and nobody's ever seen you before. That just doesn't happen. And then two, nobody has proven that, yes, he is actually indeed that person that was on the sideline. So I don't believe that was him, right? And then secondly, I don't think they cheated. Call me crazy. I haven't seen any facts that they've cheated. All I keep hearing are these allegations. So until someone shows me some proof, I don't think they cheated. That's just my opinion. Now, if they did cheat, I'll be the first to admit and say, oh, they cheated, because one thing I do, you guys know I keep it real, whether it's my team or not. I'm an honest person, just like when I felt like Tom Brady cheated with the deflating, I was very disappointed in him. Ty said, Tree, I'm not even on the team, and I think Michigan spy on me.
Let me say this. Man, everybody's cheating, man. Whether they doing it intentionally or not intentionally. I know we talk about college, but even talk about the Miami Dolphins, right? Miami Dolphins built their stadium to the point where when the opponent comes to the stadium and they play the Dolphins, they are in the sun.
You're
the
gonna
Dolphins
bro.
They're in the shade. So everybody's cheating, man. I'm like,
really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and they're in the shade. And I even heard Bill Parcells say this one time on an interview. Again, talk about how people are trying to get their edge, right? He said whenever they would play the San Francisco 49ers, and we all know Bill Walsh had they had a 15-play script, right? So they already knew the 15 play they were going to run. So he said that whenever the Giants, Bill Parcells, the Giants, they had a real good team defensively. He said whenever they went to Candlestick to play them, said something always would go wrong with the headsets. The game. That was for the 49ers to get that jump head start on them. So, and then going back to what Tree said about the deflate, that game against the Colts. Here's the thing about that. Again, we know the temperature, messes with the balls. I can go out there right now in my car. If I haven't driven it, I can take a tire pressure, put it on the tire, and it'll read one thing. Then I go drive that car around about 30 minutes and come back, stick that gauge again, it's going to read something else, right? But I do say this, even though they say that's what happened, they put real balls in there. And actually, if I'm the coach, I would say, man, stick with the deflate balls. Because when they brought the real balls in there again, man, they put up more points. So was it really the balls? So at the end of the day, everybody trying to get a head start, man.
Look, man, this goes on every walk of life. That's why we have corporate espionage, all kind of stuff goes on because people are always trying to look for an edge. I mean, to me, it was just an overblown situation. And here's the thing. The bottom line is Michigan did exactly what you need to do to make your naysayers be quiet. Without any help. They went in there and handled business against two extremely good teams and laid the wood to them. So they're like, okay, well, now what you got to say?
Yeah.
So
I agree. And then, with the suspension, how many games did we play after they said that we were stealing signs and that all these teams changed their signs and all of that? So come on, people. The proof is in the pudding. So I don't want to hear anybody saying, oh, they won because they cheated. No, we won because we're the best in the nation. I just want to say that. So please, it is what it is. He said they cheated.
All right. Well, look,
we'll see though. Look, I do want to hear what comes out. I want to know what the final report is. And like I said, if it comes out that they have evidence that they cheated, I will be the first to say I was wrong. They cheated.
One last thing before we get to the playoffs and the potential new coach for the Falcons. As a lot of people may or may not know,
the enemy.
Jim Harbaugh has on the table right now, they heard you way before, Tyrone. He has a $125 million extension on the table from the University of Michigan right now,
That's
which would
right.
make him the highest paid coach, 10 years at $12.5 million a year to stay home at Michigan. I'm just saying. So
Because we want
to
him
Michigan's
here.
credit, they're doing everything they can to try to keep the guy there. All right, Tyrone, shout it out. You said Eric Bieniemy should be our guy here in Atlanta. What do you think makes him a good fit for the Falcons, sir?
Now, I'm just gonna go and say what I've heard other guys say, guys that have played the game, right? Everybody pretty much saying the same thing, guys that have played the game. Again, if you bring Eric Bieniemy here, right? And now I'm also gonna mention something that a true Atlanta Falcon fan said. Atlanta is the Mecca, right? Now, if they want to get the fans back in that stadium, Mercedes-Benz, if Arthur Blank want to get the fans back in that stadium, like he had it with Michael Vick was here, again, all black people, they like, just call it like it is. They pack in the house because they got a star that they look at that they can resonate with. Michael Vick, right? He's excited. Eric Bieniemy, same thing. You give him opportunity, Afro-American coach, black coach, whatever you want to call it. Boom. The city of Atlanta going to be on fire about that. And then here's the other thing. Eric Bieniemy, he already got Kyle Pitts, right? He got London. You got a running back, quarterback situation. Now, do you wait to see what Cleveland does in the playoff, right? Because if Falco would miraculously Cleveland win a Super Bowl, Deshaun Watson, they maybe say, man, look here, get rid of him. So maybe the Falcons make a trade for Deshaun Watson. Or we know Chicago got that first pick. Bring Justin Fields here to Atlanta. So now you got a mobile quarterback, kind of like a Mahomes in Kansas City. Move him around. You got a running back. You got a tight end who could be a Kelsey. I see some of the pieces that Bieniemy would probably say, man, that's enticing. And then you got a defense that showed that, hey, if we'd had an offense, we'd probably be in the playoffs right now.
Oh, easily been in the playoffs. I mean, this was a team that, oh, Lord have mercy. Let me put my shades on so I stop crying here.
Don't cry, Jonathan. Don't cry.
Had this team had any kind of offense, they would have won the 10 games I predicted because they basically threw away 4 or 5 games. Just threw them away. Say, hey, we don't want to win. And they would have been 10-7, easily won the South, and would have hosted a playoff game, which they could have snuck and won because, everybody looks at the Cowboys, but the Cowboys don't scare me because they don't play good on the road.
They don't scare me
and
either.
They're an up and down team. So I'm just saying they could have been anyway. All that being said, let me take a shade.
Yeah.
Eric Bieniemy, along with Justin Fields, I guarantee you, the first game of the season, that ticket would be one of the hottest tickets in town.
Listen, I think it would sell out like it used to. You remember all the noise that they used to make in the dome? I think if that happens, that's what you would see in Mercedes-Benz Arena.
Because here would be a guy in Justin Fields that has got the ability to scramble, that can run. And when I say the RPO, I don't want anybody to think that I'm looking for the RPO to be run 20 times a game. I'm like, hey, give me like 7 or 8, 9 times a game. But with Justin Fields, that's going to get you 50 or 60 yards, probably 2 or 3 first downs. And if you're in the red zone, maybe 1 or 2 touchdowns. Because think about this. As bad as Desmond Ridder was, he had 6 rushing touchdowns. Desmond Ridder. So I'm thinking, what could a guy like Justin Fields do in the red zone? And what could he do when you open that playbook out, when you say, look, we want a guy to go deep? Fields can get him the ball. So, yeah, to me, that would be a tremendous fit. Now, I know, Tyrone, you're saying, hey, we don't need a guy to go deep. I get what you're saying, but every now and then, you need a quick strike.
No, I'm saying you don't need the quarterback to run the ball, man. I'm like, you got enough weapons with Pitts and Drake London. You got a running back. You just need him. If the scenario we're talking about, you got Fields here, you got Eric Bieniemy. I'm like, all you need Justin Fields to do is to be like a Donovan McNabb, to be like a Patrick Mahomes, to be like a Steve Young, use your athletic ability to keep the drive alive, right? And throw. You don't need him to run, man, because anything can happen. These quarterbacks are not made to run the ball. They don't lift weights like we lift. And if he pull a hamstring, boom, there goes your offense, man. So don't run him. That's why you got your running back. Put Kyle Pitts. Now you got opportunity to put Kyle Pitts in unique situations, just like they do Kelsey in Kansas City. So then we get to see people say, oh, we're glad that we drafted Kyle Pitts. Now they're using him the way he's supposed to be used. So, and I think Eric Bieniemy would do that if he were to come to Atlanta.
No doubt. Yeah, I think he would be a good pick. Now, I'm going to say something before we get off the air. If they don't go in that direction, I think they should go with like an old school guy. Like, I don't know if he'd be interested or not, but go with the coach that used to be the coach at the Indianapolis Colts after Tony Dungy. I'm trying to think of his name now, Jim Caldwell. I'd love to see a guy like Caldwell. Calm influence, a guy who knows how to run a high-powered offense. If you're not getting one of these young guns, like Bieniemy or one of these guys off the Shanahan tree from like your offensive coordinator over at Detroit tree, one of those guys, then get a veteran guy that can get in here and, guys with respect, and you can put some stuff up. Okay, let's go to social media here. It's buzzing. H.C. Hardy.
H.C. Hardy. What's more impressive is his coaching staff that didn't miss a beat during his suspension. Facts. Them Detroit guys was walking out after the game with them fur coats in the ATL 7 Mile style. Go Blue.
Wow.
Oh yeah, you know how we do with our fur coats. H.C. Hardy says, Scenario 1. Brian Flores, OC, Darrell Bevel, former Seahawk OC, been to the Super Bowl twice as OC passing game coordinator for Miami. QB Russell Wilson, 3-year contract. DC, Lovie Smith. Okay.
I like that. Veteran coaches, guys that have won at the highest level. And I know people thinking Russell Wilson is washed up. He is not. I think he got some steam in the tank. And I can guarantee you, Mrs. Russell Wilson would love to come back to the A where she from.
You know what I love? Every time we talk about Russell Wilson, I love your face when you always talk about Sierra.
I'm just saying.
I think you would love more than anybody if she came back to Atlanta.
Wow, we're gonna do it like that. You know what? I tell you what, we're gonna end it just on that note. Just
Look at our playoff picks in, man. Something just
are you talking about ending the show?
I'm tired of y'all.
No, we have to go to the We haven't talked about
I'm tired of making fun of me. I'm tired of it, darn it.
You haven't talked about my Detroit Lions. We haven't talked about the playoff.
We're about to talk about. Hang on, slow down. Let's go to social media one more time. What's H.C. Hardy saying? What's he saying?
I read that one. That was scenario 1.
I read that one. Okay, there we go. All right.
So this one must be scenario 2.
All right, guys, don't go nowhere. We're going to take a quick break, a last break of the evening, and we'll be back with more of the Real Talk Sports Show. Don't go anywhere. Please don't.
Are you in the market for a new vehicle? Well, check out Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in Morrow, Georgia. We have one of the largest inventories in our area for both new and pre-owned vehicles, so we're sure to have something for everyone. Family owned and operated since 1982, customer satisfaction is our #1 priority. Come see our full lineup of vehicles and find the one that best fits you. Give us a call today, 678-726-5739, or shop us 24/7 online at allenvigilford.net. The day has arrived. It's time to let more people know about your business. You have the right marketing plan and the messaging in place. But do you have the right messenger? Good advertising and promotions need a professional sound so the message can be clearly understood. Don't leave your brand image to chance. Let our team of voiceover experts at CME lend you a hand. Give us a call at 678-304-8121 to find out how we can partner with you to give your business its voice.
Back here, guys, the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, the Minister Jonathan Simmons. Right next to me is the lovely Queen Tree Dolman and the not one but 2-time Super Bowl
Congratulations, Amici, on your new F-250.
fast button there. Got to get the production button together. Amen. Super Bowl champion Tyrone Poole in the building as well. Shifting now to the NFL playoff situation and taking a look here at some of the teams that are going to be squaring off here in the postseason. Before that, I want to take a look at something. Tyrone mentioned to me, he said Steve Young. He said, what about Steve Young? I looked up something, Tyrone. Did you know that Steve Young averaged about 300 or 400 yards a year in rushing? Did you know that? He ran the ball. I'm just saying. He didn't run it like all the time, but he did run the ball.
The scrambles, those are scrambles.
Right. But what I'm saying, but when I say the RPO, I'm going to say it again. I'm not looking for them to run that play 15, 20 times again. I'm just saying every now and then to keep the defense honest. And yes, I do like the fact that he's got wheels to extend the play, or better yet, if it's a busted play, go man, go.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Well,
leave it right there.
This is the thing, Jonathan.
Yes.
You always go back and forth. Like today, you're saying you're not looking for him to run the ball. You're only looking for him to run to keep the play alive. But then in the past, you've said multiple times that you want a quarterback who runs.
Yeah, I mean, here's what I'm saying. I mean, all those guys you mentioned, Steve Young, these guys ran for 400 or 500 yards a season. That's like a 40 or 50 yards a game. That's not like a guy standing back in the pocket and not moving.
Scrambles, Jonathan. A lot of those are scrambles. There's one play where Steve Young scrambled from when they playing the Vikings. They always show that
Vikings famous
50 yards on that play right there, man. So there have been games where you see Steve Young, he was protected so well, he didn't do no scrambling. Again, those are scramble yards. It's just like Barry Sanders. They say he got more yards that he's lost because he tried to make something happen, right? Versus when he hit the hole. So again, all the yards you bring up, I appreciate you bringing up that point. But my question is, how many of those were scramble yards, right? The play broke down type of yards, right? Versus this is what we're going to call, and you just run the ball. Come on, man. Bill Walsh and Steve Mariucci, they smarter than that, man. You can't find another Steve Young. I'm just saying, Jonathan, I don't know if I want you to be my head coach, man, or my GM. You have a 7-10, 7-10, and 7-10. Is he frozen?
I think he is. He said, I don't know what you my head coach.
I got to joke him, though. He could be our head coach, Tree. 7-10, 7-10, and 7-10. Where's an RPO? We're gonna wait till he come in. So, Tree, let's talk about them Lions. What you got going on with the Lions? Them Lions ready?
Lions.
Yeah, them Lions ready, Tree? Are they ready?
We ready.
They got the Rams coming up. They got the Rams. Coach Campbell ready?
We're ready.
So Jared Goff, he get an opportunity to meet his old team too. So got a lot of talking points, storylines coming out of there. But what's your thinking? What's going to happen?
You know, this one is an interesting game because I'm not sure if you or many of our viewers understand just how much we love Matthew Stafford in the city of Detroit and in the state of Michigan. So even when he left and was traded to the Rams, we were buying his jerseys. We made jerseys where half of it was the Detroit Lion jersey, half of it was the Ram jersey, and we still support him and his family because he still means the world to us here in Detroit. We love him. We really do. And so with him coming in, it's not going to be that same expression of love. I'm sure we'll show him a little bit of love when he comes out. But one thing about our Detroit Lions is that we are true loyal fans and we root for Detroit Lions. That's it, right? So I really do think that our Lions are ready. I think that the refs cheating us against the Dallas Cowboys has only moved us even further on our mission to get to the Super Bowl and play for a Super Bowl championship. And that next time we're not going to make it close, right? Because don't get me wrong, we have multiple opportunities to score after that, even though we did score the 2-point conversion. So I think that when the Rams come into Detroit, I think that we will walk away with a W. What are your thoughts?
No, again, I think like you said, that's a good storyline. Matthew Stafford coming back home, Jared Goff playing against his old team. And the great thing about it, the game gonna be inside, so they don't have to worry about being out there in that cold weather because at 8:15, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be cold up in Detroit. So at 8:15 p.m. Eastern time. So that's the other good thing. But I think Detroit, they're fired up. The city's gonna be fired up. It's gonna be a lot of energy. I think the Rams gonna have to they're gonna have to weather that storm of the energy that's gonna be coming from them Lions because again, they haven't, this is their first championship division title. So there's a lot of things that the Lions have that are behind them. So the win is at their back. So my thing is, I just hope the Lions don't waste too much energy. They don't waste too much energy because you can lose a lot of energy. The Rams, they may not be as good as the Lions, but you got a veteran coach. They've been there. You got veteran players. They've been there. They know how to come in and say, hey, don't get too much energy. Don't get too excited. And the Lions, they're excited. Sometimes you can leave that too much energy, man. And you're like, yeah. So I just hope the Lions don't have too much energy, but have energy, but not too much.
Yeah, so anytime your team hasn't been in the playoffs for a while, there's going to be a lot of extra adrenaline, I'm sure. But to Dan Campbell's credit, he looks like he's got these guys on fleek. And it's just funny how the NFL seems to always get these games that have these storylines. I mean, what better storyline? The old quarterback, two guys were swapped basically for one another playing against their two teams. You have the case of Green Bay versus Dallas, the old Green Bay coach, now with Dallas coaching against his team. So, yeah, a lot of great storylines here. But I think Dan Campbell's going to have Detroit ready. I think Detroit is they sniffed that this could be their time. Pretty much like the Wolverines. They know that, hey, we got a team that can play with anybody, can possibly win. So, guys, if you're watching here, notice that I have my green screen here because we have a power outage here at my home. Not sure what happened. Knocked the internet out, knocked the lights out for a second. So I'm here in our green screen studio, but appreciate the tree and the champion for hanging in there while we got ourselves back together on our mobile phones. Amen.
So who we got? Who we got? The Lions and Rams. Who you got, Jonathan?
Yeah, like I said, I think the even though the Rams are red hot, I think the Lions are going to win this game, and they're going to be a tough team to beat. And whether they go to Super Bowl like Tree predicted or not, I'm not sure, but they are definitely one of the top four teams in the NFC, if not in the NFL. So I look for them to win over the Rams.
Man,
but they're going to win.
Tree, what you got?
You already know I'm picking my Detroit Lions. As I've said since the beginning of the season, the Detroit Lions, this is our year. This will be our first year playing in a Super Bowl. And so I'm taking the Detroit Lions over the Rams. Who you got, Tyrone?
I might have to go with the upset in that game down, man. It's a flip of the coin. I don't know. I'm like, I got to come back and face Tree. I really don't give me a stare down. I'm like, man, that's my coin flip game right there. The Rams and the Lions. Veteran team. That's why I said earlier, I just hope the Lions don't just have too much energy, man. Don't lose that energy. Don't leave that energy in the locker room and before the game, man, because it is a different atmosphere when you go into the playoffs, man. It is a different atmosphere than the regular season. So anything goes. You're going to find things that teams going to do. They're going to be themselves, but they always going to have some little trick. Some little trickaroo, as John Maxwell would say, some little trickaroo that you have not prepared for. So, but you know what? I'm gonna go with John.
We're the team of the trickaroos, right? We're successful with most of our trickaroos.
All right, then. Well, I'm gonna go with you then, Tree. Just because you said that, I'm gonna go with the Lions. So the Lions over the Rams.
Clean sweep, Lions. We got Lions across the board. All right, what's the next game we got in the docket? Is it Cowboys and Packers?
Let's start at the top. Let's go ahead and go with the times. So let's talk about the Browns and the Texans, right? That should be an interesting game there. Cleveland coming in at 11-6, you know, got that great defense. Houston, yeah, they had a battle with the Colts, and you know, so that's where we are with them. Cleveland, Houston, Falco, just keep hope alive. Yeah, you got Deshaun Watson, he's sweating in the corner. Who is it? Cleveland or Houston?
I'm going with Cleveland on this one. I will say that the way that Cleveland has been playing lately, I'm picking them to win this game, and I would be shocked if they did not play well. So I'm picking Cleveland to come away with the win.
And then here's another storyline, like Jonathan said. You got Deshaun Watson, you know, going back to Houston. So, but he's not playing, right?
Yeah.
The Falco is phenomenal. So, me personally, I'm gonna go with Cleveland as well. Jonathan.
All right, we're going for the upset. The man of God. He has been forthcoming and forthright in his testimony, and he has been a rookie phenomenon. I'm looking for C.J. Stroud to find a way to escape that devastating Browns rush and defense and pull off the upset against the Cleveland Browns. So I'm picking the Houston Texans in that one.
All right, got that for the Texans. All right, we're rolling.
You writing these down, Tyrone?
Yes, I'm writing it down.
Yeah, you see him right there. I see him. Yep.
Myself going with the Browns and Jonathan going with the Texans. All right, we have the Dolphins and the Kansas City Chiefs. Dolphins come in 11-6. They've been suffering, man. Really have been looking like the Dolphins. Jonathan, I don't know. I think you might have passed the flu down to them or something, man. But they are struggling now. And then you got Kansas City. Kansas City, they're not the Kansas City of old. So I don't know if it's that song, Kansas City, Here I Come. I don't know if Kansas City can play that song anymore. So you got Kansas City and the Dolphins. I'm like, which team gonna show up? Which team's gonna show up?
Well, another storyline game. The Cheetah.
Jonathan, go ahead, Jonathan.
Another storyline game. The Cheetah playing against his old team. So you know that Tyreek Hill's gonna try to show out in that game to make the Chiefs really miss him. But I think the Chiefs, they've been there, done that. They have been one of the top 4 teams in the league for the last 4 or 5 years. I just look for some Mahomes magic to find a way at the end for the Kansas City Chiefs to knock off the Miami Dolphins.
All right, so you got the Chiefs. Tree.
Yeah. I agree. I'm picking the Kansas City Chiefs to win on this one. As we know that once we get into the playoffs, it's 0-0s. It's a whole new season and everybody's at a fresh start. Doesn't matter what number your ranking is. And I just think that the Kansas City Chiefs, even though they've had some issues in the past, I think that they will come together. They'll be able to gel. And I think that they will push past. So I am picking the Kansas City Chiefs to beat the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
I'm going to pop up some social media comments. I can't see them because they're on my phone. So if you guys can tell, hopefully this is not one that's been up already, but there's one there. It's H.C. Hardy. What's he saying?
He said, but Detroit will be challenged without their tight end, True. They should have picked up Zach Ertz, who was waived by Arizona, was a baller in Philly.
Yeah. And
H.C. Hardy said, the Rams won't have an answer for Detroit two-headed monster in the backfield. Former GT Bama running back Jahmyr Gibbs, who was amazing, and the running back they acquired from Chicago. Goff will choke, but the defense will step up. Detroit 24, Rams 21. Okay, H.C. Hardy.
That's your guy right there.
All right, so who's your pick, Tyrone?
I'm going to go just for the sure fact of the weather. 8:15 game. It's going to be cold in Kansas City. And Miami coming up from that weather, there's no way that they can reproduce that cold weather that they're going to face when they go to Kansas City. So Kansas City out there practicing in it. They probably making snow angels in it. I'm going with Kansas City. And plus, when you got Mahomes, you can't go wrong. That's just like Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. As long as Mahomes still at quarterback, you got to go with the Chiefs, man. So I'm going with the Chiefs. All right, we have the Steelers, the Steeler Nation. Mike Tomlin, he just continues to do it, man. The dude has won, 17 straight seasons, man. The Steelers have not had a losing record. So you got the Steelers coming in, playing pretty good ball, 10-7 against the Buffalo Bills, who they've been rejuvenated. Something in the water up there in Buffalo, which I've been to Buffalo, the city itself, industrial city. So I don't know what they're doing in Buffalo, but man, they feel like they try to get back to the Super Bowl where they should have been last year. That's what they're saying. So, Tree, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, who wins at 1 p.m. on Sunday?
This one is a tough one because immediately you would want to think the Buffalo team, right? The Buffalo Bills would win. But it's just something about Pittsburgh Steelers, and it doesn't make sense. It's like, how do they continue to do what they do? It just makes no sense. And they haven't been successful in the playoffs lately. I want to pick the Steelers because I just feel that they'll find a way to get at least this one win. But as you stated, which we all know, the Buffalo Bills, they're thinking about last year. And one thing that I've always said, some losses, they change you, right? And I think that loss changed them. So I'm picking the Buffalo Bills because I think that they're going to focus on their goal to try to get back to the Super Bowl. I don't think that they will, but I do think that they will get past this first round. So I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills.
All right, Tree got the Bills. Who you got, Jonathan? The Steelers?
Bills, baby.
Bills.
Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs. Allen looks like the Josh Allen that we've seen the last couple of years, running and throwing, and Stephon Diggs is going to make his presence felt in this game. It's going to be close, but I like the Bills also.
I don't think without the Steelers having T.J. Watts, I don't think they're going to have enough electricity to slow down Josh Allen. So, and I'm going with the Bills. We have the Packers and the Cowboys. The Packers and the Cowboys. This is almost like from 1990, whatever, when Brett Favre and the Cowboys, going back to the frozen tundra, the ice game, the Packers and the Cowboys. But it's a different era. Now you got Prescott at quarterback. You got somebody named Love up there in Green Bay. So what do you guys think? Dallas, Packers? Who you got, Jonathan? Who you going with? Pack or the Cowboys?
Downstairs in my drawer, Tyrone, I have a commemorative watch from Super Bowl I, January 15th, which ironically is my birthday. I was 8 years old. It's in my drawer. Looking for the Packers to once again take down the Cowboys as Jordan Love, who's been red hot, knocks off a Cowboy team, which I think is really a very erratic and inconsistent team. So, yeah, I'm looking for the Packers to pull the upset. And another game that has, some synergy there. Mike McCarthy led the Packers to the Super Bowl, was ousted, now coming back with the Dallas Cowboys. Always scenarios with the NFL. Gotta like it. But, yeah, I'm looking for the Packers to pull off the up. And it does appear that once again, ladies and gentlemen, it's lights out in Johnnyville. I don't know what's going on with the power here, but
see you.
We're out again.
We can still see you. Keep it rolling. Hey,
that's why I'm still on the air.
There
we go.
That's what I'm saying. Be funny. Yeah. Well, I hope that your power stays on and does not go off anymore. Yeah. So before I give my picks, I want to read H.C. Hardy's comment. He said, playoff Flacco is a problem. The team has rallied behind him. He's picking the Browns to win 27 and Houston to have 14. So for this game, this one's personal for me. Okay. So I am picking the Green Bay Packers to beat the Dallas Cowboys because I think the Green Bay also feels that this is personal. And I'm not saying that the Cowboys cheated. The refs cheated. For whatever reason, it just seemed like the refs wanted the Cowboys to play the Green Bay Packers as opposed to other teams. And I think that they're going to take offense to that. And I think that they're going to come out, play hard. And so I'm picking the Green Bay Packers to win over the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, well, I'm going with the Cowboys. I just think, Prescott, Dak Prescott, a lot of pressure on him. He wants to show and do a great job. CD Lamb, they do have capabilities of throwing the ball. They can run the ball. Then they got a good defensive coordinator. So I just think the Cowboys going to pull this off. So I'm going with the Cowboys. So you and Jonathan are going with the Packers. All right, our last game to pick for this week is Philadelphia, 11-6, going to Tampa Bay, the winners of the NFC South, 9-8. The Eagles are, I don't know. It's like they slid down a razor and landed in a pool of alcohol, man. They just hurt it. They just hurting all over. So I don't know. This for me, I'm gonna start with this one here. I think this one could be an upset. This is my upset right here. I think Tampa Bay could upset the Eagles, man. The Eagles, I don't think they can find themselves right now. They shadow box. They just like Jonathan. Man, they out there trying to play in the dark, man. They're in the dark right now. So they getting the light come back on, just like Jonathan got the light on right now. That's how the Eagles are playing. Lights on, lights off. But I think Tampa Bay is playing fall. So I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay.
Oh, that's funny.
Who you got, Tree?
I am going to pick the Eagles for this one. I know that the Eagles started off great. I know that they're falling down, but I just feel like at this point in the season that they'll find some way to defeat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I'm going with the Eagles on this one.
Jonathan.
What's behind me there? What color is that screen?
I don't know. You're in the dark.
It's green. It's green like the Eagles, baby.
I didn't joke with you, green. So you going with the Eagles. All right. Got Jonathan and
Fly,
Tree.
Eagles, fly. Tampa Bay is not a good team, bro. Any representative from the South, I couldn't pick them to do anything. Yeah, Tampa Bay, no. Eagles will knock off Tampa Bay on the road.
Any given Sunday. And I want to reach H.C. Hardy's comment. Buffalo won't stop Pittsburgh running game. Former GA wideout Pickens will ball out. Thus, this game will definitely be about time management. Pittsburgh by 6.
Leslie Frazier gonna have something to say about that. So
yeah.
I'm pretty sure he will. But that is it, man. I'm like, that is it. We picked all the games, and we are all in agreement on Dolphins and Chiefs, and we're all in agreement on the Lions over the Rams. You guys kind of talked me into that one. But other than that, we are splitting hairs on the other games. So we're going to see. Somebody's going to come away with it. Nobody's going to go undefeated. Don't look like this week. So we're going to find out when we do the show next Tuesday. Who got the better record? Right? Here we go. Let the games begin. As they say, let's get
the games begin, baby.
Oh, let's work that thing.
Well, guys, we have survived the power going in, power going out, all kind of things happening. So appreciate all you guys that have tuned in to watch us here. Appreciate the Queen. Appreciate the champion, Tyrone Poole, for making it do's what it does. I'm going to try to see if I can see what I'm doing on this screen here. I'm kind of a little tiny, so tiny. Amen. We're going to see if we can get it done here. All right. Let's see if we can get to Tyrone Poole. And see if we can get the board to be his.
We all just click off over here, Jonathan. We'll make it easy for you.
Yeah.
We'll just click off on our side, and Jonathan, you're gonna be the only one left. So it's gonna be you and Tree, then it'll be you left. So
wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me get that layout back so I can get everybody out here. Let's do that again. Here we go.
Yeah,
there's everybody.
Right
there we go.
Like that. So as we click off, it's gonna take care of itself. So, anyways, everybody go work that thing, and I pray that everybody prosper and everything and be in health, just as your soul prosper. Follow me on all social media, Tyrone Poole 38. Peace, everybody.
That's it.
I'm out.
I got everybody's left. All right, Tyrone Poole 38. I don't know what I got there. There he is. All right, Tree Dolman. I'm gonna disappear. Go ahead.
Okay. Hey. All right. So, hail to the victors. Go Blue. National champions. I'm so proud of my team. You can find me on all social media at Purple Diva 13, as well as Ms. America International 2022. And thank you, Todd, for going ahead and admitting I'm having a great night. Go Blue. Detroit Lions are next. Take care.
God bless. All right, guys, I'm wrapping up here. We appreciate all those of you who watched the broadcast today. hang in here as we have power outages, all kinds of things going on. Remember, you can contact me, Jay Simmons at realtalksports.net, or simply give me a call, 678-410-9833. Before I leave here, I always like to remind you, if you don't know the Lord Jesus Christ, your personal Savior, please, ma'am, please, sir, get to know him today. Why? Nobody, absolutely nobody loves you like Jesus. He came here fully man, fully God, and died for your sins. So if you repent of your sins and believe in him, two great things happen. Number one, you become a citizen of the kingdom of heaven. And number two, you become an adoptive child of God with all the rights to him. That means you now can go to God like a heavenly parent, asking for anything you need or desire, and he'll grant it to you according to his will. And when you die, you go to that beautiful place called heaven, where there's no pain, no pandemic, no bad people. You never get old. You never die. The city is beautiful, adorned with every possible jewel. It never gets dark because the glory of God illuminates the kingdom, and the streets are paved with a gold that's so pure it's translucent. And you avoid that nasty place called hell, where all the things I just mentioned will not be there. So it's dark, it's dreary. Think about this. You're going to be with Satan and the demons and all the evilest people of all time. And most of all, you cut off from God, from Jesus Christ, and all the people of love forever and a day. I don't know about you, but I like option number one instead of option number two. All right, guys, until next time we get back together again, God bless you and have a wonderful rest of the day or evening, whichever may apply. So long, and God bless. See you.